Welcome to Future Focus Van Buren Tech, where we take you inside the world of career and technical education.
From the fast-paced world of fire science
to the strategies of business management.
to the innovation behind engineering design.
And the creativity of architectural design. We are four students at the Van Buren Tech Center diving deep into these career paths, sharing experiences, and bringing you expert insights along the way. Whether you're a future student, a curious listener, or just love learning, this is the place for you. Be sure to catch all 4 episodes.
Let's build the future together.
All right.
Have you ever thought to yourself how a huge skyscraper manages to stand? It's because of all the work of many architects. Today, we will be talking about architectural design, so stick around for more.
So architectural design is a process that you would use in creating any type of structure. So you could have a client that needs your services. So you as an architect, you would address those needs by speaking with your clients. Um, so you're pretty much interviewing them. So you learn what their needs are, and then you would most likely nowadays you would use any type of CAD software to make renderings of buildings or structures that you are building for your client. So they would be custom to order, and you would use modeling software such as Revit. That's a software that I've been using in my class. And as far as meeting with clients, you would also need to develop your public speaking skills. So we do many uh, presentations, and you would do many presentations in the field of architectural design. So um, with that, do you guys have any questions for me?
Um, Thank you, V-Saber. But what does CAD stand for and what does it do?
All right. So CAD software, it is computer aided design software. And what you would do with it is any type of, so say you have a client that comes up to you and they want a house from you, right? So the easiest way to model that house for your client is, and the most modern way, is to use Revit. So you can create a floor plan, you can show them 3D renderings, front, back, wherever you want, interior, exterior, and it really gives your client a better view of what they want, and then you can just go off of that based off of what their needs are. So it's definitely a software that's very powerful, and there are many things that you can do with it in terms of designing a building and having that presented to your client. So how about you, anime watcher? You have a question for me?
About how much of everything you do is on the computer and what is not.
All right, yeah, that's a good question. So what I do on the computer is really centralized around making floor plans and responding to clients via email, and the creation of certain presentations that you would need. Um, but so most of my work is on the computer. But the things that I would be doing off the computer would be putting together models. So um, I haven't really personally dealt with making little tiny wooden models, but I have seen that done before, where you would use something called the Glowforge, of which I've used before, but just not to its full potential. Um, and it's a laser cutter, so you can custom design anything you want. I've actually done a Christmas ornament um, for our class, and it's a good test. It's a good way to gauge the capability of this machine. So it's really fascinating the things that you can do um, with how precise you can get the cuts with that. So it's the Glowforge, and really um, just pretty much putting together other models with like just general tools, really. Yeah. So, do you have a question for me? Not illegal?
Would you say the most important part of architectural design is communicating with your clients?
Yes. That is a very critical and key component of architecture. But as far as it being the most important, I would say it's you knowing what you're doing in the first place. So you have to have a good gauge of certain codes of building, and you have to obviously be very efficient with the way you conduct your construction of plans on Revit. So I would say communication is certainly key, but I wouldn't say that there is one single most important thing. I think it all works in tandem to get you the best experience possible for you and your client. So yeah, you definitely want to stay in touch with your client in the realm of architectural design. Yeah. Is that all for you guys on this topic?
I think so.
All right. So the next thing I would like to bring up is the benefits of being at the Van Buren Tech Center. So what would I really be gaining from this? Well, um, in architectural design, obviously, since I'm using Revit, you have the potential to earn what is called the Revit Certified User Certification, and that is earned by taking a comprehensive test at the end of the year, and it gauges based off of a score if you're able to pass, and if you're able to pass, then you get that cert, and that's something that not many high schoolers have the opportunity of getting. So you get a certification. So far, I've actually earned an NC3 rule and tape measurement certification, which is another beneficial certification to just list on your resume. Um, and by default, you actually earn college credits from the completion of the architectural design course, along with a wide array of high school credits. So you really get a lot from this program, and you also are able to just test your knowledge and learn and gain practical skills that you wouldn't just only use in architecture, but really generally in the workplace as a whole, like public speaking or teamwork, things like that. Many soft skills that you would also learn. Um, so, are there any questions over that I would?
Um, if if you had to start all over, like from the very beginning before you went to the tech center, would you still go to the tech center?
Yes, definitely. I believe that the tech center has opened up a very big opportunity for not just myself, but for many other people. And if it's personally, coming from me, I would totally go back because you get so many, you just gain so many new experiences that you wouldn't have otherwise. I mean, at a normal high school, you don't have these specialized programs. You don't have certifications that you can just earn. And, being in a different environment every day, getting to leave your school and have an obligation to show up to another establishment on time is something that would build not only your character, but I believe it helps you to be more responsible as a person because now you have external obligations, and that of which are um, very specific to something that you're really interested in and a course that can really benefit your career path in the long run, as opposed to just going to a normal high school for your whole career. So,
B Saber. Architect seems to be a lot of work, and there's many, many VOTech courses. If you had to redo this year, do you think you'd pick a different course?
if I'm being honest, when I first got into the tech center, I was skeptical about which course to choose, but if I would choose a different one, I don't really think I would because um, I have a family history of construction and uh, being in architectural design, it appealed to me in that way, of which I have a little bit of familiarity with construction, which is a closely related field with architecture, but also just being able to have your own creative elements combined with a logical order and um, mathematics side of things. It's really a well balanced and complex course that I believe you not only earn hard and soft skills from that are both related to architecture and unrelated. So I think it's a good balance for me personally, and it's a comfortable fit.
So another question for me, do you plan on using architectural design in your future?
Right now it's hard for me to say that with 100% assurance, but I believe that I would be using um, these skills that I'm learning and the certifications and whatnot that I'm earning from this program to contribute to my career. Because I have been looking into different institutions, and there is one university out in Utah. It's called Utah Valley University. They have, like many colleges, I'm sure, but they have a 5 year bachelor's degree program for architecture. So it's a very unique and um, tailored course to architecture, and you really learn a lot from that. So being able to go to the Van Buren Tech Center and earn these um, certifications and whatnot is serves as a great prerequisite and something that makes me stand out. So that if I were to truly pursue any type of architectural program in college after I'm done with high school, it would land me a higher chance of getting into that institution, and it would also give me a better head start, comparatively speaking, to people who do not have what I have. So I do believe that I would be using these skills for my future, yes.
Okay.
So are there any more questions for this topic, or we're moving on?
I think we can move on.
All right. So lastly, yes, as we were touching on a little bit, I would like to talk about my career outlook. So in the field of architecture, there are a lot actually of different career paths that you can pursue, such as being an architect, being an architectural, technician, like a drafter. Because if you go to an architectural firm and you want a job, there are several different roles, and you could just be baseline, like just drawing plans. You're not the guy that necessarily communicates with the client as much as maybe your higher up would, or there's just a really broad spectrum of careers. Like landscape architect, for example, they design like spaces in hospitals, like atriums, or like outside parks, um, a whole host of different environments and styles that you can apply to different areas based off of your client's needs. So I would say that what I would want to do would be generally just being an architect and working towards that. And there are entry level positions that you can build up your portfolio and your resume um, with, in order to then reach that position of, okay, now I'm my own architect. I can work for myself instead of going for, just simply a firm or something like that. So that, if you're on your own, then that can land you flexibility. So, are there any questions regarding my career outlook in architecture?
Yeah. If you could, if you could, would you go somewhere else to learn architectural design besides the Van Buren Tech Center?
To my current knowledge, I would stay at the Van Buren Tech Center because I've learned a lot, and I know of no other institution that really can compare with the tech center that I currently go to. So, um, if there was a closer option or something along those lines, then maybe. Um, but as far as I'm concerned, the Van Buren Tech Center has been a great fit for me. So that's what I'm sticking with. How
Um,
about you, Anime Watcher?
um, would you, so with thinking, because you said you have a lot of clientele you would deal with, would you be able to deal with people as an architectural designer?
I believe so. A lot of that depends on your schedule. So how many clients you have booked, and really one's capability at completing the work that is laid out before you. So in my case, I believe that I can. Um, obviously being able to just work with one client, obviously I can do that. I can speak with them. You just have to be easygoing, listening to their needs, their concerns. You can't really speak over them. Obviously, you just have to just really recommend what you believe is best for them in their situation, but let them describe that to you first. And once you've got that, I mean, it's just leave it to the process after that. So I believe I can work with many people.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Now,
Great.
thank you for all your input. I'm gonna take it back a little bit. You said there's a whole bunch of different types of architects. Which one do you think you're the best fit for?
I believe that I am the best fit for just being generally an architect. That would probably be designing homes. So um, I would enjoy that over being a landscape architect, for example, because they're doing probably a whole lot more urban projects, which I don't necessarily have a huge preference for, but as far as what I have been experiencing in the tech center, I am the most familiar with designing homes, like residential homes. So I would be the kind of architect that would be commissioned by, say, a family, potentially affluent, um, that wants to build their own home on their property, and then I would address their needs according to what they need. Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Future Focused Van Buren Tech podcast. A huge thank you to the Van Buren Tech Center for making this podcast possible. And of course, you, our listeners, for joining us on this journey. This was part of our limited 4-episode series. So if you like this episode, be sure to check out the rest. Share it with your friends and help spread the word. Until next time, stay curious, stay motivated, and keep building your future.